Good evening, Ori fans and speedrunning fans in general, and welcome back to the Ori tournament, round of 16. This is the first match in the round of 16, and we are going to be watching XepiccatX versus MrRandomson. I'm QQ and I'm joined by Alo Jiminy. And why don't you tell us a little something about XepiccatX? What is he looking to do in this race?
Well, XepiccatX is a very good runner of ours. He is almost at the 32-minute level, which is basically the god tier. If you are in 32 minutes, that is where you want to be. He's currently at a 33.01, so he is literally just 1 second out of the 32 club.
Interesting fact
about yes, the gatekeeper. Interesting fact about that, he actually had two identical runs, so he's hit 33.01 twice, which I can't imagine the pain that he was in when he hit that twice, because it's so close to the 32 club. Anyway, some interesting facts about him himself is he is a keyboard and mouse runner, and quite a lot of people do different bindings. He only has bindings for Laser Stomp and SA of the big ones. And he's been running it for a while. He used to run vanilla back in 2015, and he submitted his first run just after that in January. And he took a bit of a break, came back to DE in December, January this year. So he's got experience in the old run, which means his movement will generally be very good, because you can have all of the dash which you have in the DE now. So it will be interesting to see if his movement is much cleaner than MrRandomson, because I believe he is quite a recent runner of times. Maybe you could tell us some more about MrRandomson.
Yeah, absolutely. So he as well plays on keyboard and mouse, and his PB is sitting a few minutes back from XepiccatX's PB. Something interesting to note, I actually went through and watched it earlier today to sort of see what kind of tech he's throwing into his run these days. And this is not an old PB. This is a 3-day-old March 31st PB. So he is fresh off of a very good run for himself, looking to improve. And looking through his run, it was really interesting to see that he still has pretty much a free minute and a half time save just from having a late game where he doesn't have any sort of silly deaths at the end. So that'll be something that I think everyone will want to keep an eye on, because obviously XepiccatX is the favorite coming in, and MrRandomson will need to throw down a good run. And I think the sort of key to that is he needs to keep those deaths away. And if he can do that, he can easily get down into the 35 range and throw down a run where he's certainly putting the pressure on XepiccatX, and he's not gonna just let him walk away with it. He's not gonna let him have just like an average run and get away with the win. He'll actually have to throw down a good run for himself as well. Something else to note, he was also a vanilla runner, so he's not necessarily a new runner. And you'll see that in their vanilla runs, their times are also pretty close. So it's just interesting to see how these runners that have been around a while, how they sort of compare across different versions of the game. So they were very close there, and are sitting a little further apart in the DE version. But obviously Randomson will be trying to close that gap a little bit. And it looks like we're just getting ready to get started. Last thoughts before this race kicks off?
I think it is going to be a good one with XepiccatX. He does have the advantage with the better times, but he's also he's pretty much trying all of the higher level strats which you could think of, apart from fast Bronchi Walk, the Death Glide, and new strats like the crazy frog juggle, which I don't believe anyone's going to run. So that does lead to more risky maneuvers in the later parts of the game where deaths can be rife. So he's going to have to keep the deaths away.
And yeah, Randomson, it's interesting, his sort of running style. He did mention when I talked to him earlier today that he is not sort of pulling any punches or anything. But that's not to say he's not making safety saves, because even in his PB attempts, he makes a lot of safety saves. So he has definitely that sort of edge in if things start to go south for both runners, they take a few deaths in the late game, he will be losing significantly less time than XepiccatX. So as they come into sign here, it looks like we're pretty much tied up. As to be expected, we have no big movement abilities. We're running, we're jumping, and we just got our first attacking ability. And we'll go through a little mini boss fight as we kill these Frankies.
Yeah, a little bit of difference in the way they're killing things. I was speaking to XepiccatX, and he does bind his attack to the scroll wheel. So you will see him do much more quicker attacks, which can be more consistent than the shot pacing that we're seeing from MrRandomson on the right-hand screen.
Absolutely, yeah, and you saw because of that, because you can be a little more consistent with it sometimes. He does take a second or so early lead as they come out of the sign area and make their way back up and around to wall jump, which is the first sort of movement enhancing ability of the game. So something to note is they make their way there. They're coming through this wall, and nice damage boost from Randomson. As they're coming through, they're picking up set experience. They're trying to kill specific slimes to time a level up that'll happen here in 30 seconds or so. So yeah, you see Randomson takes a little extra time to get that experience because he wants to make sure he doesn't mess that up.
Yeah, it looks like they both managed their health well. I think XepiccatX got the ideal door warp, whereas MrRandomson actually had 2 health as he picked it up from the slime, so it does take a little bit longer, but again, it's only a second or so, which can be made up very quickly in this game.
Absolutely. There's so many little movement things, especially in this first section. I know you posted earlier today, you got a really nice dash time, and the things that go into that are just well-timed jumps, and then especially on your wall jumps, you want to make sure you're getting sort of max height out of your wall jumps or wall runs and wall jumps as you're making your way up. And any little flub movement costs you a second here or there, and that's the stuff that adds up to give this sort of early lead to XepiccatX.
Yeah, definitely. An interesting point is to point out that they both have went for the 4th health. So only a few people that don't go for the 4th health. It is generally perceived as the safest and most efficient run as well, without getting any more. So again, similar strats.
Yeah, there's absolutely different points of view, as you are one of the people who is an advocate of 3 health. And yes. Obviously with the times that you're posting up, it's obviously possible to throw it on good runs, especially even in a race setting with 3 health. But obviously, yeah, one of the things you're aiming for is comfort and confidence in these races. And if you're used to running 4 health, I think sticking with what you know is definitely the way to go, and that's what the runners seem to be doing here.
Yeah, picking up that 4th health cell helps you a lot with just confidence when you're in those later game bits like Misty, where you can take 1 shot and die. That extra health means a lot there.
All right, so I was getting some issues with the voice chat coming over. Hopefully that sorts itself out. But yeah, as they come out of wall jump here, you'll note that they headed left from the tree and picked up an energy cell, and that's to set up the first major sequence break of the game, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. But right now they're doing some nice movement coming out through the elbow here, as this area that Randomson's in right now. A couple nice wall jumps, and he gets his way up cleanly with just a single damage boost. It's really easy to sort of take extra damage there, and it makes this next section of the game quite a bit harder because, and he does take another damage. It's unfortunate. But coming into the next section, BRB, which is one of the major sort of reset points of the game, because it's early enough that you're still kind of like nitpicking all these little mistakes that you're making, but it's late enough that it the mistakes start to come, even if you're trying to be focused. So XepiccatX is making his way in there now. What is he doing right now, Elo?
This is an unusual thing if you've never seen it before. You can't see what's going on behind the screen, but it's called a save anywhere glitch. So if you bring up the menu, you can cancel it and just bring it up at the same time, which confuses the menuing. So you can actually ability point with there. You can actually up an ability point, so that causes a save, and you can you can skip cutscenes, and that saves a bunch of time. You'll see it a bunch of times in the run.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime you see that that ability menu pop up, and if you don't see what's going on, try to look in the background, and you'll see the runners moving around and performing some actions to skip cutscenes and stuff like that. You'll see, I think coming in there, they were about 7 seconds apart. It looks like no major deaths so far. If XepiccatX can get across this lasers and shooting section, that's sort of the major death point of BRB. And as soon as he gets up here, he'll probably be pretty safe. And it looks like Randomson doing the same. So a couple of, I don't want to say it too early, but it looks like a couple of BRBs for both of them. Okay, Randomson's up there. So that's looking good. The last sort of technical thing here, they'll do a slight platform manipulation which you saw XepiccatX save there and pause while he did so, and Randomson does the same thing. This manipulates the next platform cycle in the next room we'll be going to, and it just gives us an optimal cycle.
Just to say quickly, although MrRandomson did take a little bit more time in those jump pads, it doesn't actually make any difference in the time because the platforms are on a set cycle. So they actually hit the same cycle despite the little problems that he was facing on the jump pads.
Absolutely, yeah. It's one of those things where, yeah, sometimes you go through that platforming section and you're feeling really good, and then you get to the end and you realize, okay, I still have to wait a half a second for this cycle to get here. So it feels nice to get the movement.
Yeah, but, it's better to go slower that time because the faster you go, the more likely you are to die, and it's like it doesn't really matter. So yes,
exactly. Really quick orb drop for XepiccatX. That's one sort of tiny thing of RNG that the runners love to focus on, just because it's, I don't know, something to talk about. And a really long orb drop from Randomson. So slight edge to XepiccatX coming into the cutscene here.
Must have done the right rituals to get the quick orb drop.
Yeah, exactly. He did some nice sacrifices to the tree gods, and obviously it paid off for him.
Naru's father approves.
Oh God. So now we are coming into the new ability, or one of two new abilities in the definitive edition of the game. Oh, and a nice color change from Randomson. That is very dark, though. You might want to switch that up. We'll see. Yeah. But yeah, we're getting this dash ability, as you see XepiccatX moving quickly to the left across the screen. Obviously, on horizontal ground, you can just repeated dash, and that is the quickest form of movement that we have right now. You'll also see him throwing in some dash glides, which is where you jump out of a dash while holding neutral input. Maybe a little more technical than that, but that's the easy way to think of it. And it lets you maintain your dash momentum in the air. So as they cross any gaps, you'll see them try to dash glide as much as possible, and it just gives you a little more horizontal speed. Oh no! Randomson took some damage from that Frankie. He is at 1. He needs to sort this out somehow.
He has realized, fortunately.
Yeah, thankfully he didn't go all the way down and die. It looks like he's going for a save here. That'll give him more health and reset. And the reason he needs this health, if you notice on XepiccatX screen, he needs to do a damage boost to get over some spikes. So he saves there, and I'm not positive on if the Frankie respawns or not with that save, but it looks like he's checking for it up top. Hopefully it is still over to the right. Okay, it looks like it's still there, so no worries from him. He can continue with his Frankie walk.
Yep, the death gauntlet seems to be going perfectly well for XepiccatX. He hasn't. Oh, he just landed the save, so it doesn't matter if he dies now. He will not go back as far as a very long way. Let's say it's about a minute.
Absolutely, yeah. This is one of the worst deaths you can take.
Oh, XepiccatX gets the grow cycle. That was beautiful.
Absolutely. So really nice early game from XepiccatX here. Yeah, he moved clearly through that previous movement, and now he's making his way to a ghost door, and he is going down to double jump. Ooh, tiny death there, but that's just a couple seconds. That won't concern him too much. Meanwhile, okay, Random's got his save down as well, so we're out of the realm of horrible deaths to take. And XepiccatX is doing another sort of save and reload to skip another cutscene as he gets the double jump skill. Ooh, nice grow cycle.
MrRandomson also gets the grow cycle. Would you like to explain a little bit about that grow cycle? We didn't really go through it.
So there's some very specific movement to do, and it basically manipulates the loading cycle, or the loading time of those crusher cycles. So you basically want to start very far away, and then you time 3 dashes to get as quickly to them as possible. And if you're optimal with it, you can sneak in on an early cycle, which saves you about 8 seconds. So XepiccatX and Randomson both got it, so it's very nice to see. That's a fairly newish trick that a lot of people were having trouble with, but now we're seeing a lot of people get it more and more often.
Yep, as XepiccatX just gets through the grotto skip, it's quite a difficult jump. He got it on the 2nd attempt, I believe, which is a bit lower than his tournament average. I believe he's got it first time on every time, so a little bit of trouble, maybe nerves kicking in. I don't know if he is watching the stream. Did you find that out or not?
I have not heard either way, so I'm not sure.
I think we can
maybe a little nerves, or just a little crack in the armor, and looks like Randomson takes advantage of it. First try grotto skip for him. Ooh, a little damage there, but I don't think that'll matter in the long run.
Actually, it will matter slightly when you get to the top of this area. There is a slime which you can usually dash through, as it is a pain to jump over.
Oh,
But,
true. Very,
oh wait,
very
there.
true. I
It's
forgot
actually
about
gone
that.
4 health, so it doesn't matter. I'm
Ah,
so used to
yes.
3 health.
your different strats and knowledge kicking in there. Yeah, so he should have 1 extra health, assuming he took no damage elsewhere. So yeah, it should be okay. It looks like the gap has opened up a little bit to about 40 seconds or so. I think that time was at double jump. So Ramson's still hanging in there. That just 1 death is sort of what opened up that gap. But overall, his movement's been looking really good as he makes his way out of Grotto here. And meanwhile, XepiccatX is going up to grab an ability cell, and he will be quickly heading to the first dungeons of the game. Oh no! That's an unfortunate death from Randomson. That isn't horrible, but that's not something he needs right now, unfortunately.
No, I just have heard from the truck that XepiccatX does actually have the stream up, or at least the stream chat up. So he may have an idea of where MrRandomson is at the moment. So being this far ahead, it'll give him a little bit of leeway in the Ginso, so he might not go for such daring strats as the early cycle, which can kill many a folk.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Yeah,
if you do... Nope, go on.
Go ahead. I was going to say something to note on another unfortunate death for Randomson, but I guess the hyperspeed. He's been doing really well on sort of like the Grotto cycle and Grotto skip coming out. Both of those are first tries for him. That's the first time he's gotten them in the races so far. So clearly he's been sort of upping his game on some of the tricks that can wall you in some places. So that's really nice to see. But unfortunately, yeah, he keeps taking these deaths, which is nullifying any effects there. Ooh, and look at this telehopping
going
from
for the
XepiccatX.
telehop. That was perfectly done.
Yeah, so that's a really nice strat where you abuse the double jump ability and those teleporters. So you jump through and the teleporter resets your double jump and you just make your way quickly back and forth. And a nice color change from him as well. So he's rocking blue right now.
Keeping them up. We're also going to see the new strat here from XepiccatX. I was speaking to him earlier, and he is doing the Mr. Asmus cycle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, another little cycle manipulation, and pulls it off very nicely. Randomson, unfortunately, having to watch a tiny cutscene here before going into Ginso. It's just a couple seconds lost there from doing the cutscene skips, so not horrible. But yeah, maybe looking a little shaky with these deaths.
Yeah, it'll be good to see if he calms down through the Ginso tree. He's got really good movement in there, so it'll be nice to see him catch up a bit with XepiccatX. Yeah,
let's hope to see that. Unfortunately, yeah, with those deaths on the way to Ginso, it looks like the lead is opened up to just about a minute. So Randomson's going to have to sort of minimize those deaths, as I was talking about earlier. I was, I guess, more expecting them to see in the later game, but looking a little shaky earlier game. Hopefully he pulls it together as we move into the sort of next section of the game, which XepiccatX is quickly coming up on.
XepiccatX just took a little bit of damage, so he will have to be very careful through this movement, as you usually try and take damage within there so you can do this ghost stall, but he took prior damage to it, so he's not allowed to take that damage. He managed to get there fine and kills himself and opens the door very nicely.
Yep, and he is picking up the bash ability, which sort of marks the entry into the sort of mid-game. This ability redefines Ori's movement. It's going to let us start flying around using lanterns that are positioned on the map as well as enemies to latch onto and throw ourselves in different directions. So you'll start to see him use that quite a bit as he moves through these shot rooms. Nice manipulation of the cycle there to get through that and not lose one. And you also saw him do there a quick trick called double bashing, which is a glitch where you can do a 1-frame second bash that you grab onto the same object twice, and you sort of get to shoot yourself and the object into different directions instead of just going 180 degrees from each other like intended.
Yeah, MrRandomson had a little bit of unfortunate RNG. Oh, when he goes back to the boss. Fortunately, he did just do a save.
Yeah. He did make that save there.
Doing it all over again.
Absolutely. I usually take my save a little later, so a death there is actually, it would have been worse for me. So good heads-up play for him, making that save before that little portal room, which the movement can be kind of technical on if you're trying to do it really quickly, which he was. He was trying to go for the sort of optimal movement there.
Yeah.
Oh,
and on the left-hand
experience. Okay, he's got it.
Ooh,
And
it takes the death.
I think he got it before he died. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
can see his
believe he
XP
did.
there. It looks like he's fine. Um, he turned his UI back
Always
on, you
best to
saw.
check.
Absolutely. Uh,
Because with the experience at the moment, they are just coming up to the core skip, and the core skip should consist of a left side and a right side, but with the experience you can level up here. He's just bashed the frog to open this door, he'll take the XP, and he will level up and kill all of the brambles.
Absolutely. So that's the second time we've abused the level up mechanic in the game. Whenever you level up, you do let out this explosion around you, and we take advantage of that damage. First, we kill the bramble wall, and then similarly here, we kill some more brambles. This time, skipping a quite slow section of the game. So now we'll see XepiccatX coming into the escape, which is some of the most beautiful music in the game. Hopefully, everyone is enjoying it. Unfortunately, we go through quite quickly, so we don't get to hear the whole thing, but I thoroughly recommend checking out the soundtrack to the game if you are a fan.
Yeah, if you ever play it casually, this is where you spend about half of the game, because it is the most difficult portion of the game for a casual playthrough. After you've played it a 1,000 times, speedrunning it, you generally just breeze through it, but it can be very difficult and unforgiving.
Yeah, that
Was
looked really
very impressive by XepiccatX there. He actually went for the faster dive over the spikes, which is dangerous, but it did pay off for him.
Yeah, I was looking at Randomson for most of it, but I didn't notice him lose any cycles there, so it was really nice movement from him. And meanwhile, Randomson is coming up on his core skip, and then he will be trying to get out of the Ginso tree as well. So it looks like the gap is continuing to widen a little bit. I think we're at a minute and a half now, roundabouts. So yeah, XepiccatX is just showing us his superior movement and is not letting up at all.
Yeah, he just seems to be closing out the run, doing what he does best, a very clean start to the run.
Oh, nice
He
new
even
damage
goes for
boost
the
strat.
damage boost.
That's really nice.
Without that damage boost, you actually have to wait for the shooter to come and fire a projectile at you, and then you will bash up. Well, unfortunately, it only saves about half a second, I believe, but every second counts.
Absolutely. Especially when you're going for these low times, like XepiccatX trying to break into the 32s. At that point, yeah, half a second on a strat, you're absolutely going to go for that. So that's really cool to see him adopting these new strats. I think that's only a couple days old since it was first suggested by Hetfield.
Yeah, I've only heard of it recently, and it's not too difficult of a trick. You kind of get it every time, unless you screw up the first jump, but you don't really go back far, so risk reward. Probably not worth it, actually, for half a second.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's not the only time we do sort of damage boost while running. We did it earlier on in a section that we actually forgot to mention called the key duplication room. But yeah, it's hard to do those sort of damage boost and wall runs because you have to abuse your iframes and you have very limited time to get your second wall jump off of the spikes. And sometimes you get like a weird damage boost, so it's always scary to go for those, but really nice when you see them pay off.
The left-hand screen, you just saw nothing at all, which is good, because you were meant to see a Kuro cutscene, and fortunately XepiccatX pulls off the very precise precision movement and gets past the cutscene without actually seeing the evil bird.
Yeah, XepiccatX doing a good job keeping us spoiler-free so far. So props to him. We will not have to see the main antagonist of the game until the very end, which is a nice suspense for anyone that hasn't seen the game before.
Yes. Do you know if MrRandomson goes for the 5th energy or not?
He does. So he's been throwing it in and actually making good use of it in the late game. Like I said, I think I mentioned earlier, he does make a lot of safety saves late game, just as part of his normal strats. So I'd expect to still see that from him. But he does use the 5th energy in sort of the key points to save time as well, such as like Sorrow entry, stuff like that. So he is adopting those new strats to take advantage of the 5th energy. So that's great to see. And he looks like he's having a little trouble. He's trying to do a trick here called Drainless. He was trying to jump off the edge there and then save in midair while he's starting the stomp animation, which is another new ability that we haven't mentioned yet, that you see XepiccatX using on the left. So it just lets you stomp down and destroy things below you. And what he was trying to do was stomp that underwater barrier by abusing saving and reloading again.
Yeah, on the left-hand side on the EpiccatX screen, we are coming up to a trick called Stompless. In the past, in the tournament, he has actually missed it one time, so it'll be interesting to see if he goes for it again or the nerves are getting to him. I believe he will do. He's got quite
Yeah,
a
I
comfortable.
wouldn't expect him to skip it. That would
No.
be odd, I would think. It looks like he is
Let's
indeed
just
going for it.
hope he doesn't get sad cellless. That could tighten this race up quite a lot.
That shot
The
looks really
shot did
good.
seem
So
good, yeah.
hopefully the movement is good. Spider shot comes in, nice movement. So it looks like he will probably get it here. Very nice.
Ooh, that was very close actually. Really just got
A little
that
closer
move.
than it can be.
He's just put it on
But
a show.
nonetheless, yeah, keep us in suspense. So he'll be going through a cutscene here, and then picking up Feather, which is a very nice ability that lets us float, and it's supposed to be used, or you're supposed to go do the second dungeon of the game called Forlorn Ruins, which sort of activates a bunch of wind that blows up from underneath the ground. We're going to do another sequence break here using this frog, and we're going to not use the wind and instead use a rocket jump to get up here. So very nice from him, and he will now be doing a series of double bashes to get into the best area of the game, Sorrow Pass.
But yes, although we do the secret race, it makes it a lot more harder to get here because you're meant to have wind and we do it without, so this area is very difficult and can have a lot of deaths in it. Fortunately, XepiccatX is making light work of it. It seems to be having no troubles, but it is not over yet. There is still time for MrRandomson to catch up.
Interesting to note, I don't think he placed a safety save yet, so if he does take a death here, it will be quite costly. Looks like he's good, though. He's into the frog juggle, and it looks like he's proceeding smoothly up that. Meanwhile, Randomson is moving up on the area game where he might go for Fast Stompless as well. I don't believe he's gone for it previously. However, in his recent PB that he got a couple days ago, he did go for it. So,
looks like he's
and he
going,
did
right?
get it. So yeah, he's going for it. He looks like he's feeling good. So it looks like good positioning, nice movement. That shot looked pretty
Shot
good.
looks good.
Oh, unfortunately,
did make use of the save.
yeah, he made that save there, which he is a normal strat. He usually does that for that exact reason. And the reason he took that death, unfortunately, you'll see that he does that quick dash off of the ledge. And unfortunately, you can get terrain ramped there, and it eats your double jump. That's why he just proceeded to spike himself on the floor. So that's unfortunate luck from him.
Yeah, we've seen no mistakes from XepiccatX as far. He got right through Sorrow, he's got the Sunstone, and he's just marching his way through this run. He doesn't seem to be letting MrRandomson catch up at all.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw a little sort of flubbed movement at the end there on his way to climb, but no deaths, which is sort of the key thing that's going to lose you time here in the late game.
Fastest strategy is the not die strategy.
Absolutely. We have all experienced that. Oh my gosh, those stomp cancels.
Those were terrifying stomp cancels through those spikes.
I don't know why he would do that, because okay, so a stomp cancel is where you interrupt a charge dash to stomp and then jump out of it, and he did that right underneath some spikes. Wow, what is he doing here? Little mini boss action with those birds. He gets out unscathed though. But yeah, stomp cancels, they increase your height. So he did those underneath some spikes, which whenever I've tried that, I just jump up into the spikes. So that was some very precise vertical positioning to not do that. So major props to him. That was very nice. And then surviving that impromptu unofficial mini boss was very nice to see as well.
Yeah, he made his own mini boss. I think he's only at 1 health at the moment, so Misty is very scary if you only have 1 health.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, back on Randomson, you did. Sorry, we got a little distracted there. He was having some trouble getting into Sorrow here. Ooh, nice. I think that's the second time he's done that movement where he does the charge dash through the laser without stopping. He just runs off the platform and he has it timed. That looks very nice. That is good to see. Ooh. Unfortunately, the frog goes off the ledge, so he'll have to do it again and does the same movement. All right, he's got to settle down. Okay, looks like he's in there this time. So yeah,
such a nice way to get through that laser.
Yeah, that looks really good. Clearly something he's practiced. Oh my gosh.
Please, Mr. Randomson.
So yeah, unfortunately getting infinited here a little bit by this section. I have also had a lot of troubles with this section. This is not an easy section to do quickly. You have to do some very precise movement to get through that laser and then manipulate the frog's position to keep him alive. So you saw that he took an intentional death there to reset the frog's health. It was just going to help his frog juggle, which is coming up right now. Unfortunately, still having some trouble.
It is very easy to get infinited in this area. If you get it wrong a couple of times, it can be very frustrating. So it just builds and builds until you just can't escape from killing the frog.
Absolutely. Looks like it's finally out of the spikes section. So hopefully he gets this last shot manipulation to break the wall. Good. And then a rocket jump up. Okay, so he is up to the top of Sorrow. Looking good. Meanwhile, back on XepiccatX screen, we have missed almost the entirety of Misty. Clearly, he is not having any issues. This is just amazing pace from him. Looks like he might even be on 32 pace. I'm hesitating. I'm not sure on that, but this looks really good. Unfortunately, we've had to divide our attention a little bit, but let's not forget that he is doing very well.
Killed the actual mini boss instead of the one he just made up, and he got through it very well with just one of the most popular methods. He screwed it up a little bit, but he managed to kill it very quickly. He barely saw it.
Yeah, there's I think probably 3 sort of quick in quotes methods to kill that boss. All of them probably within like a second or 2 of each other. And I think he got like the one in the middle or slightly slower. So still only, you know, we said not, you know, optimal killing, but it's only like a second or 2, so nothing crazy.
Mr. Randomson on the right-hand side has just collected the ability in Sorrow, which is Charge Jump, which means he'll be leaving this. I'm sure he'll be very happy about that, and making his way to Misty, and hopefully we don't see any trouble on the way down.
Yep, so he's coming down the big vertical shaft that we climbed earlier. Past the last section, past this bird, and if he gets past these spikes, he is in the clear, and it looks like he is good. So we'll be moving on to Misty as well. Meanwhile, XepiccatX doing a nice extended save anywhere. And this is to do another cutscene skip, as we mentioned earlier. So he was trying to get to that cutscene trigger, and then he uses an ability point to save, drops down to the last ability in the game, Light Burst. He's getting this at 2850. He is, I believe, 8 seconds ahead of his PB, if I can read. Just amazing pace. So let's see if he can get this exit movement over to the last dungeon, and then just an escape. So he is quickly wrapping up this run. Ooh, nice safety save from him. That's really nice. I didn't notice that.
I was speaking to him earlier, and he said that his last 5 runs have been either mid to low 33 pace. So he does seem to be in the zone at the moment of runs in general. He's such a consistent player, and he's just showing that in this race at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking a little more closely at XepiccatX's previous PB, looks like, yeah, he can definitely still get into the 32 range, and as long as he gets some clean movement through Horror Fields and gets a clean escape. So looking really nice from him.
Yep, the only trouble to face him next is Door Warp. And let's all give our energy to the Door Warp.
The last sort of keeper of the PB is indeed Door Warp. It's a true one-frame trick where we need to press a key press the Enter Door button on the first frame that we load the game. So he'll enter Horror here, make a save, and then exit the game. And as he reloads, we'll be hoping to see him teleported to a completely different area of the dungeon. And this is an abuse of how the game loads in areas. And essentially, I think I don't know the technical details, but we're entering the door before the areas are even loaded.
Missed first try. Please Door Warp.
Okay.
That's the first time he has actually missed that all tournament.
Okay,
so
second try. So I think the dream is alive.
That would put him where he was about 7 seconds ahead, so can still PB. It'll be interesting to see if he does fish strats when his PB is on the line.
Oh, excellent movement from Randomson on the right. Sorry, I have to direct our attention. There's just a really swaggy series of bash glides and feather use. So really nice movement from him. But anyway, back to back to XepiccatX as he quickly makes his way through the escape. We'll be trying to beat a fire cycle, and he is way ahead of cycle though. So very quick movement from him, and a nice charge dash through that wall. So he is coming very quickly onto the last section with the fishes.
This
Oh
is
no,
the
straight
moment
cutting
of
out.
truth. He's going for it.
Nice. That looked like good double
And
bashes
get
in
it.
fish manipulation. And he
He's
is
got
up
it.
there, and he is in. Oh my gosh.
No, that
Is
looked
that gonna
like
be-
a 33 dead.
That
Please.
I didn't catch exactly. Sorry, I blinked. But this is going to be within a second of his other PB, as we
Oh, no.
unfortunately have another minute to wait of watching cutscenes until we know his true time. So everyone, cross your fingers and hope that he can hold right. Oh, was that a Terra jump from
That
Randomson?
was
on the
a
right?
Terra jump. That
Oh
was
my gosh.
impressively good.
This is some very good movement from him as well. Every time I look back over, he's doing cool stuff. So yeah, as we wait for these cutscenes to play, Randomson doing some nice stuff. He took those deaths earlier in the run, but he's certainly showing us that he has some very nice movement here in the late game.
Yeah, Misty is generally a difficult area because you're using all of the movement. You're covered in spikes, and he has made short work of it. He didn't really have any deaths that I saw, so he's doing really well for himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's going to save and manipulate this lever, take a death, and then he will be heading on to Light Burst. Meanwhile, back on XepiccatX screen, he is taking control of Naru. And Naru, please run fast. Like, oh my gosh.
Jumps.
This is the most stressful part. Go, Naru. Please.
Oh,
Oh my
59,
god.
Please. No!
Oh no.
Oh, Epic.
My heart. I can't take it.
It's sad, yet it's happy. It is a PB, but I know he'll be crying inside.
Oh my gosh. Talk about consistency though from XepiccatX. You mentioned, yeah, his previous runs, throwing in 33s, and showing again that, oh my gosh, he is on the verge of getting this 32. Oh, what a run.
Yeah, he just had a few little deaths at the end, or the door warp itself, that would have decided the 32 for him, but unfortunately he doesn't get it. But he does win the race, which I'm sure he'll be happy with.
Yeah, so definitely a mixed bag for him, but he is through to the next round of the tournament. So at least a ray of light in what may be a frustrating time for him as he gets his third time that is within a second of a 32.
MrRandomson did have a little bit of trouble on the laser, but he done a very good adjustment and managed to just get over it. So he is on the way to Horu and looking healthy, apart from eating a bit of spikes there, but
healthy
he
enough.
managed to escape. Get your daily dosage of spikes, come on.
No,
Oh, not that much. That's too much. That's overindulging. Whoa.
Okay, come on, just get some clean movement out here. This last section, I really love this movement because you have all your movement abilities. You can throw in a lot of charge dash and stomp cancels and whatnot. So this is a fun section of the game, assuming you're playing well. And for the most part, Randomson is just obviously a little too high. Ooh, nice charge dashes there. Just a little too high on one of those charge dashes.
You only got to see one Terra jump this game, unfortunately.
Hey, one Terra
Although
jump,
they are
that's
very,
not-
very hard to do.
I've never done a Terra jump, so anytime I see one, I'm just in awe.
So what's your prediction of door warp?
My prediction, I do not.
I'm gonna go first try. I'm gonna go first.
Try? Okay, I'll have to go second try then. I was gonna go first try, but oh my gosh, very nice from Randomson.
Every time.
Congratulations, you win the door warp race.
Just because I got to say it first. Yay!
I hesitated too long. I should have gone for it. All right, so Randomson will be trying to close out this escape movement. Another section that's really fun to do once you sort of got your movement planned out. So we'll see how many stomp cancels he will throw in here.
Yeah, I don't know if he is watching the stream. If he isn't, he may not know that XepiccatX has finished unless he looks at the SRL timer thing.
Well,
But
assuming he still has his SRL chat open, he should see XepiccatX finish, so he will at least know that.
some people don't like any distractions and do actually close all of the windows.
You're right, that may be
Oh,
true.
he
So it looks like
unfortunately doesn't have any energy
Yeah.
left for the fish traps.
he,
No!
whether intentionally or not, dumped all his energy at the end there. So he will not be going for fish strats. He will instead be just doing a series of nice charge jumps up the left wall here. Oh, almost getting trolled by that boulder, but he gets in to finish his escape quite cleanly. So good movement from him, finishing out his run. And we'll just be watching another minute or so of cutscenes as he holds right and walks towards the finish line.
Yeah, that'll put him on a late 37, which is only a minute outside of his PB, so in a race situation, getting within a minute or two is a very, very good race for that person.
For sure, and especially, looking back, obviously Randomson was showing, a few mistakes early on in the run, but realistically, he needed to have XepiccatX make some mistakes, and XepiccatX obviously was not prepared to do that and was not going to let him in this race. So maybe glimmer of of not hope, but a light in that he knows that even if he had given us a solid PB, it was very unlikely that he was going to take the win. So just giving us a solid performance, certainly as much as anyone can expect from races where you're under immense amount of pressure trying to perform for everyone. So great stuff out of both the runners.
Especially when your opponent is running so consistently, it's insane. That would have won most races. That would have beat me in my race that I just had. So 33 is an incredible time.
That would have beat my PB. So,
Exactly.
And I think it would have beat everyone except for 5 people's PBs. So, yeah, certainly a great time out of him. So you saw some nice little swag jumps from Randomson. So showing he's obviously maybe a little disappointed, but got a sense of humor about it.
At least he's having fun.
Yeah, exactly. That is it. And you mentioned that was actually one of his goals for the tournament. He said he wanted to have fun and not rage too much. Clearly, showing that he's having fun.
I don't think he would have been too disappointed with that race. He did very well.
For sure. So yeah, that will wrap it up for the first race in the round of 16. What do we have coming up next?
The next race is actually on tomorrow. There's 2 on tomorrow. We've got Hetfield and Gramelios, which will be a hell of a race. Hetfield, of course, our #1 in the world, with a ridiculous time of 31:09 or something. And Gramelios, who has played this game forever, so that will be a very interesting match to see. You should definitely tune in for that. And that's at 4 p.m. There's also a game at 7 p.m. with Raziel and IceX. Interestingly, with IceX, he was the big upset from the 32 round, and he took out J-Hobbs, which was incredible. No one expected that.
Yeah, for sure. And something that I think is really interesting, both of these races tomorrow are going to be in the Ori division. So after tomorrow, we will know what the quarterfinal matchup will be for this division. So I'm excited to see that. Obviously, sort of expecting it to be Raziel versus Hetfield, but IceX has the X factor so far. If he can get another upset and get to the quarterfinals, surely that would be just an amazing sight to see. Being able to go up against the #1. That was something I was hoping to, at least get a race against Hetfield in the tournament. I haven't gotten to yet. I'll have to make it to the finals, which is unfortunately probably not going to happen. But, a man can dream.
Well, on Thursday we will find out if you get further. It is actually me and yourself in a race.
Yeah, so my fellow commentator, Elo, and I will be racing on Thursday. So obviously... another match that I'm obviously looking forward to. And on the other side of our bracket, we have Sigma Sin and Cheese Lover. And Sigma is the favorite in that matchup. But, obviously, as IceX has shown us, you never know in Ori.
Yep, anything can happen.
And I think, I'm trying to remember if there's anything else we're supposed to say. But I've obviously had a great time. Thanks for commentating with me, Elo. And
It was a
thanks,
pleasure.
yeah, thanks for everyone for tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow for some more Ori and the Blind Forest.
Good night.
He's going to kill it far, far away from this door where he actually needs to level up. And then he's going to dash to the door, the XP chasing him. He gets the energy, he opens the door, and that is...
Exactly. I think it's probably one of the most stupid strats that we have.
Oh, goodness, Monkley with the dodge. That was...
I like floating laser turret, which you can imagine what that is. But yeah, I think they didn't mean for anybody to ever see these. Did you just see what Rufus did in that key?
I have never seen that. Is that faster?
Is that faster?
Didn't play through it. And it's very rewarding as well. Oh no!
Oh, he makes it! Wow.
Oh my god,
That
I
was so close to only.
For the 5th energy. So it's going to put a temporary gap in between them, but it's going to. Oh my gosh!
What a nice adaptation to save it.
Races, and you watch someone who doesn't get the rocket jump up towards Sunstone, you might see them.
Whoa! He actually knocked that frog into the wall. Look, he thought he was completely done for, but
He said, "I just don't want to die because if you don't save and you die here, it's real bad." So he's going to be taking a save.
Oh, wow. So Trojan got the shot. His shot looked extremely high, but he got it, and that's going to practically level this race right now.
Yeah, as you can see, they're now in the same cutscene, and Terra has to go up to the Spirit Well.
That's really where you're supposed to need all this wind without using the wind. He also went for a ridiculously risky trick there, where he skipped through that.
Spent like 4 minutes in door.
oh, Meldon, can he make it back to the lane? What a beautiful charge dash from Meldon to save himself. That was absolutely insane. And yes, please take that safety save.
All he has to do here is get to the end of the game. That's his only target, whereas Cheese is on his way to Misty Woods. He's going to be going. Wow!
Oh, Rastiel, no! Oh my god, Rastiel, no!
I can't believe
Oh my god.
Think about that. So, just little things like that. Strategy getting to. Oh goodness. Oh, the laser! Oh god.
Oh man.
Coming out of.
First miss for Melvin, second miss for Ruben. Third attempt, Ruben misses on the third attempt. Melvin misses it on the second attempt. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Ruben, fourth attempt, misses. Melvin gets it on the third attempt, and he takes the lead for the first time. Ruben got it! But Ruben gets it as well. I'm losing my mind here because they're actually come down. Execution on the final escape.
Dropping falling trees and boulders, and the whole time Kuro, the main villain, is chasing you. And you have to escape. Wait. Oh no, he bonks unfortunately. Oh my god.
Oh my god, it's crazy.
This is so close to time. It's a really swag strat that only saves 2 seconds and has the potential to lose you over a minute.
He's going for it again.
He's going for it again. The absolute madman.
Okay.
Here we go. Oh no! We're in the lead, guys. Okay, let's see if Brindle goes for fish strats. If he just plays it safe, he has this in the bag. He can't lose from here. He's not doing fish strats. Brindle's got this.